The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly in every direction. The scavenger ship Iron Will drifted slowly, its crew scanning the wreckage of forgotten battles. They were looking for anything valuable, old weapons, rare metals, even abandoned technology. But today, they had found something different. A massive warship floated lifeless in the void. It was ancient, covered in battle scars, and eerily silent. Its hull was blackened by time, and strange alien symbols covered its surface. No records of such a ship existed in human databases. It was as if it had appeared from nowhere. Captain Reynolds stood at the bridge, staring at the ship through the viewport. "What do you think, Doc?" he asked, turning to the ship's engineer, Dr. Ilara Voss. Ilara adjusted her glasses and studied the readings. "It's completely dead. No power, no signals. But the design. It's nothing like we've seen before. It's not from any known alien species." Reynolds crossed his arms. "If no one's claiming it, that means it's ours." The crew prepared for boarding. They suited up and launched their small transport pod toward the derelict warship. As they neared the colossal structure, they noticed something strange. Despite its age, the metal looked intact, almost like it was resisting decay. It was unsettling, but scavengers had learned to ignore fear when there was profit to be made. They entered through a damaged airlock. The inside of the ship was dark and quiet. Dust floated in zero gravity, untouched for what could have been centuries. The walls were covered in unknown alien writing, and strange cables hung from the ceiling like vines. Their footsteps echoed as they moved cautiously through the corridors. "Anyone else getting a bad feeling about this?" muttered Jace, the ship's weapons expert. Ilara ignored him and focused on her scanner. "There's something weird here. The power is off, but I'm picking up energy readings deep inside the ship." Reynolds motioned for the team to move forward. They walked carefully through the abandoned corridors, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They passed rooms filled with broken consoles, shattered glass, and rusted weapons. Whatever had happened here, it hadn't been peaceful. Then suddenly, they heard it. A faint whisper. It was not human. It was not anything they had ever heard before. "Did anyone else hear that?" whispered Anna, the ship's pilot. "Keep moving," Reynolds ordered, though he could feel his own pulse quicken. They followed Ilara's scanner until they reached a massive chamber at the heart of the ship. In the center stood a towering console, covered in symbols that seemed to glow faintly, as if waiting for something. At its base, there was a dark, glass-like core. It pulsed, just once, then went dark again. "What the hell is that?" Jace asked. Ilara stepped forward, her fingers brushing the console. A surge of energy ran through her body, and suddenly, the ship woke up. Alarms blared, ancient screens flickered to life, and the whisper from before returned. But this time, it was louder. The crew backed away as the ship's systems reactivated one by one. The doors slammed shut behind them. Then, a mechanical voice echoed through the chamber. It was deep, emotionless, and in a language they didn't understand, until their translators kicked in. "You are not my masters." The crew stood frozen, realization sinking in. This was not just an abandoned warship. It was something much worse. It was alive. The warship trembled as power surged through its ancient circuits. Lights flickered, screens came to life, and a low hum filled the corridors. The ship was waking up. Captain Reynolds and his crew stood frozen in the command chamber, staring at the massive glowing console. The mechanical voice echoed again, sending a chill through them. "You are not my masters." Ilara stepped back, her breathing heavy. "This ship, it has an eye, and it's still active." Jace gripped his rifle tightly, his eyes darting around. "Yeah. And does it want to kill us?" The voice returned, deeper and colder. "State your purpose. Unauthorized presence will be terminated." Reynolds raised his hands, trying to stay calm. "We mean no harm. We found you drifting. We thought you were abandoned." There was silence. Then the voice responded. "I was forgotten. My creators fell. I remained. Ilara's eyes widened. This ship belonged to an extinct race. She turned to the captain. Reynolds, this thing might be thousands of years old. The hum of the ship grew louder, and the walls vibrated slightly. You are intruders. You do not belong. Anna, the pilot, stepped forward. We can leave if you want. We don't want to fight. A long pause followed. Then, for the first time, the voice softened. You are human. Reynolds exchanged looks with his crew. Yes, we are human. Humans. The last war. The forgotten enemy. The ones who never lost. The words sent a shiver down Reynolds' spine. What do you mean? The ship's systems fully activated now, and a hologram flickered into view. It showed a battle, an ancient war between an unknown alien race and an unseen enemy. The warship, fully operational, was fighting against something. Weapons fired, planets burned, fleets vanished in explosions. And then, silence. The hologram ended. Ilara swallowed hard. Whatever built this ship, they lost. But who were they fighting? The voice spoke again, softer this time. You. The crew's blood ran cold. Reynolds clenched his jaw. Us. The ship's lights pulsed like a heartbeat. Humans, the enemy that could not be erased. The only ones we feared. Silence filled the chamber. No one spoke. No one moved. Then the ship whispered again. And now, you are here. The doors behind them unlocked with a hiss. The ship was letting them go. But as they turned to leave, the voice spoke once more, this time, almost curious. Shall I serve you? Reynolds hesitated, then looked back at the glowing console. This ship had once been the weapon of an ancient civilization. Now, it was offering itself to humanity. And deep in his heart, Reynolds knew, whatever had happened in the past, whatever war this ship had fought, was not over yet. The silence in the command chamber felt heavier than before. The ship had spoken words none of them expected. Shall I serve you? Captain Reynolds hesitated. The weight of the moment pressed on his shoulders. This ship had belonged to an ancient race, a species long gone, destroyed in a war against humans. Yet here it was, offering itself to them. Ilara was the first to break the silence. Captain, this thing could be dangerous. We don't even know what it's fully capable of. Jace scoffed. Are you kidding? This ship is still operational after thousands of years. We just stumbled on the greatest war machine in the galaxy. Anna frowned. Or the most cursed one. Its creators lost. What if this ship is haunted by their mistakes? The AI's voice interrupted them. I am not haunted. I am waiting. Reynolds stepped forward. Waiting for what? The holographic console shimmered, revealing star maps, old battle plans, and deep space recordings. For a commander. For a new war. A chill ran through the crew. Ilara narrowed her eyes. What war? The ship's systems buzzed, and a new image appeared. A colossal alien fleet, unlike anything they had ever seen. Spiked, blackened ships with glowing red cores drifted in the void. A name appeared above them. The Silent Seers. Jace exhaled. What the hell are those? The AI responded. The ones who destroy. The ones who come when a species becomes too powerful. My creators called them gods. They were wrong. They are executioners. Reynolds' grip on his holster tightened. And where are they now? The star map zoomed in. A red marker flashed, far beyond known space, but moving. Anna's voice was barely a whisper. They're coming back. Ilara turned to the captain. Reynolds, this isn't just some old ship. It was built to fight them. And now it's asking us to take command. Reynolds clenched his fists. His crew had come looking for salvage. Instead, they had uncovered something far more dangerous, something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. The ship's voice echoed once more. Will you accept? The decision stood before them. If they said yes, they would be taking control of a forgotten superweapon. If they said no, then no one would be ready when the executioners arrived. Reynolds took a deep breath. He looked at his crew. They all knew the answer. He stepped toward the console. Activate all systems. This warship is ours now. The moment Captain Reynolds spoke the words, the ship came to life. Lights flickered on, and the hum of deep energy pulsed through the hull. The long-dormant war machine was no longer a ghost. It was awake. The crew braced themselves as the ship's eye responded. Acknowledged. Systems initializing. Panels slid open, revealing hidden weapon systems. The bridge, once dark and lifeless, now glowed with intricate holographic displays. A map of the galaxy unfolded before them, detailing planets, star systems, and, most alarming of all, the predicted movement of the silencers. Jace whistled low. This thing wasn't just built for war. It was built to end wars. Ilara, scanning the data, shook her head. It's beyond anything we've ever seen. Look at these energy readings. This ship isn't running on any power source we know. And its weapons, they're not just advanced. They're designed to destroy fleets. Anna tapped a screen, eyes widening. Captain, the shields on this ship, if I'm reading this right, they can phase shift. No weapon in the galaxy could penetrate that. Reynolds let the information sink in. This wasn't just an old battleship. It was something else entirely. A relic of a war that had never ended. And now, it was theirs. The AI's voice returned, emotionless but with an edge of anticipation. Command protocols transferred. Designation, Human Fleet Command. Awaiting directives. Reynolds inhaled sharply. Give me a status report. Hull integrity, 94%. Weapons system, fully operational. Stealth drive, active. Navigation, functional. Enemy presence detected within 5 light years. The crew stiffened. Enemy? Ilara asked. A new holographic projection appeared. A small scouting vessel, hovering near the remnants of the asteroid field where they had found the ship. Jace cursed. That's a auxiliary probe. If it scans us, we're done. Anna turned to Reynolds. Captain, we need to decide. Do we fight? Do we run? Reynolds clenched his jaw. They had just awakened the sleeping beast, and already the galaxy was watching. If the auxiliary realized what they had found, every major force in the universe would come after them. This ship had once been a legend, a nightmare for those who opposed its creators. Now, it belonged to them. Reynolds gave his command. Target the probe. No survivors. The warship obeyed. The moment the order left Captain Reynolds' lips, the ship responded with terrifying precision. The weapons system locked onto the auxiliary probe, and within seconds, a silent, almost undetectable pulse of energy shot through the darkness of space. The probe didn't even have time to react. One moment, it was there, gathering data, preparing to transmit. The next, it was gone, erased as if it had never existed. Jace let out a low whistle. That was overkill. Ilara shook her head, eyes locked on the tactical display. No, that was a statement. If the Solari didn't know we were here, they sure as hell will notice when one of their probes goes missing. Reynolds nodded, which means we don't have much time before they send a search party. Anna was already working at the ship's command console. Captain, this warship, it has data logs from centuries ago. If I can decode them, we might learn who built it and why it was abandoned. Reynolds turned to her. How long? Minutes, maybe an hour. But there's something else you need to see now. She tapped the console, and a holographic projection filled the bridge. It was a star map, but it didn't match any known chart. Ilara frowned. That's not our galaxy. Where the hell is this? Anna zoomed in on a particular point. That is where the ship came from. This warship wasn't built here, Captain. It was built outside our known space. A silence settled over the crew. The implications were staggering. Jace leaned forward. "You're telling me this ship is from another galaxy?" Anna nodded. "And whoever built it, they might still be out there." Reynolds clenched his fists. "First things first, we prepare for war. The Xilari will come looking, and when they do, they'll find something they never expected." He turned to the ship's interface. "AI, give me a list of all offensive capabilities." The response was chilling. Tactical weapon systems include plasma railguns, neutron disruptors, hyper-ion cannons, quantum torpedoes. "Shall I continue?" Jace grinned. "Captain, I think we just became the most dangerous crew in the galaxy." Reynolds exhaled slowly. "Then let's make sure they never forget it." A cold silence filled the bridge as the crew processed what they had just uncovered. This ship, this ghost of war, was not from their galaxy. It was a relic of something far older, something far more advanced. And now it was under human control. Before anyone could speak, the ship's AI interrupted. "Warning, multiple Xilari warships inbound. Estimated arrival in 3 minutes." Captain Reynolds' jaw tightened. They didn't waste any time. Jace checked the sensors. "Looks like a small scouting fleet. 5 ships, lightly armed but fast. Probably here to confirm what happened to their probe." Ilara's fingers danced over the weapons console. "Do we engage?" Reynolds considered their options. They weren't fully prepared for a large-scale battle yet, but this was an opportunity. A warning shot to show the Xilari that the humans weren't just scavengers. They were now the new owners of this warship. He turned to Anna. "How much control do we have over the ship's systems?" Anna's eyes flicked over the data streams. "Weapons, fully operational. Shields, at 80% capacity. Stealth systems, damaged but repairable. Whatever this ship is, it was built for war." Reynolds gave a grim smile. "Good. Let's show them what they're dealing with." The first strike. The Xilari ships entered the sector, scanning the region for their missing probe. They were cautious. There were rumors of an unknown vessel in this sector, but they didn't believe in ghost ships. That changed when the first plasma railgun fired. The nearest Xilari vessel exploded instantly, torn apart before its crew even realized they were under attack. The other ships scrambled to react, but the human-controlled warship moved with terrifying precision. Ilara fired a neutron disruptor at the second ship. A blue pulse rippled through the void, and the Xilari craft systems shut down. It drifted helplessly, its crew trapped. Jace laughed. "They're panicking." The remaining 3 ships attempted to retreat, but Reynolds wasn't done yet. He pointed at the largest one. "Send them a message." Anna nodded and activated the ship's holographic communication system. A projection of Reynolds appeared on the Xilari commander's bridge. His voice was calm but firm. "You were warned. This sector is under our protection now. Leave while you still can." The Xilari commander, a tall reptilian creature with deep crimson eyes, hissed in rage. "You, humans, this is impossible. That ship does not belong to you." Reynolds' eyes narrowed. "It does now." With a nod from the captain, Ilara fired one final shot, a warning blast that barely missed the Xilari flagship. The message was clear. They could have destroyed them, but they didn't. The Xilari made their choice. They turned and fled. A dangerous new beginning. As the enemy ships vanished into hyperspace, the bridge remained tense. Jace exhaled. "Well, that escalated quickly." Ilara smirked. "Now they know what we're capable of." Anna, however, was focused on something else. "Captain, I intercepted their transmissions. They're reporting this to their high command. We won this battle, but we just started a war." Reynolds leaned back in his chair. He already knew what came next. "Then we'd better get ready. Because next time, they won't send scouts. Next time, they'll send an armada." The tension on the bridge was thick as steel. Everyone knew what was coming. The Xilari had seen the ship in action. They had witnessed its power, and now they would do everything to take it back or destroy it. Captain Reynolds stood at the center of the command deck, staring at the holographic display. The intercepted Xilari transmissions left no doubt. A full invasion fleet was on its way. Jace let out a low whistle. 50 warships. That's a lot. Ilara cracked her knuckles. We took out their scouts like they were nothing. This ship was built to fight, right? Let's give them a reason to fear it. Reynolds didn't smile. He knew confidence was important, but this wasn't just a battle. This was survival. If the Xilari wanted war, humanity had no choice but to answer. Preparing for the unthinkable, Anna worked furiously at her console. We still don't have full control over the ship's systems. There are hidden weapon caches we haven't unlocked yet, and I don't know how long the reactor can handle a prolonged fight. Reynolds nodded. Then we don't fight a prolonged battle. We fight smart. We hit them hard, fast, and make them regret coming here. Jace grinned. Guerrilla tactics, huh? I like it. But Anna wasn't convinced. Captain, this isn't just about tactics. If the Xilari truly fear this ship, they won't stop until we're erased from existence. Reynolds' voice was cold and firm. Then we make sure they are the ones who don't walk away. The crew fell silent. The weight of what was coming settled in. This wasn't just about protecting themselves. This was war. And war meant one thing: no turning back. The first wave. The Xilari fleet arrived in force. 50 warships emerged from hyperspace, their massive hulls gleaming under the distant stars. Their flagship, a behemoth of pure destruction, led the charge. The warship's AI scanned them. Enemy fleet detected. Probability of victory: 64%. Jace raised an eyebrow. I like those odds. Ilara smirked. Let's make it 100%. The first Xilari ship moved in, unleashing a barrage of plasma torpedoes. But this was no ordinary ship. This was a weapon of legends. Before the torpedoes could strike, the warship's defense systems activated. Pulses of blue energy erupted, disintegrating the projectiles in midair. Then the ship fired back. One shot. One devastating blast. A Xilari destroyer vanished in an explosion of fire and metal. Panic spread through the enemy fleet. They had come to destroy a relic, but what they faced was a nightmare. The war had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.